that's where I see this coming full circle, where it's like, if you're one of those teachers, healers, people who have been going through this self-actualizing process for years now, like this is what you're here for, is to help teach people how to stay embodied here, connected here, as we reach for the stars with VR and, and being sensitive and empathic and hyper connected like we all are.
Wait, hold on, back up. So this is a fly on the wall with Jenessee and Diane Trimbath, the astrologer. We're going to be talking and going deep, deep, deep into a lot of the earth changes and the parallel timelines. So take a moment and watch this part. And if it interests you, there'll be a video at the end where you can go deeper. We talk a lot about the astrology in today's sky so that we can correlate it to our parallel timeline on Earth when we detached from the Earth and the cataclysm actually happened. Diane and I don't think this is going to be our trajectory, but we do believe there are waves of ascension that are helping us to shift very drastically so we can, as a humanity, avoid this stuff. So enjoy your fly on the wall experience. And if you want more, stick around to the end or go right to the end where you can get the full deep dive hour discussion about all the astrology surrounding all of this topic.
I think, again, I said in the beginning, it's the only story I've been given. How can I ignore it if I make my living off of reading energy like this, right?
And I hear you.
But it's not, and when people ask me, do you really think this is happening? And I'm like, I think all of us are here from a time when it did happen. It's a parallel timeline. And that's why we're so hyper conscious to it. And like you just said, we are here to make different choices. And that's what it is. To me, it's we're all here again and seeing, can we, as we become so mentally engaged, which we're now in the emotional plane, living objectively in the emotional plane, which means subjectively, internally, we're all tapped into the higher mind consciousness, the mental field. And so what that means to me is we now have to work extra hard at being grounded and present and stay connected to the earth. And if we forget about the earth as we move into the higher mind, we're on that cataclysmic timeline. We have to take the earth with us. And that has been the message I've heard over and over and over and over and over. And that's why I have the tool, the story, and the tool I have is because as we tap in here, we've got to keep our roots connected down there. And we just can't ignore the earth. And so she has to evolve with us, or again, the earth's going to break down and we're going to do it all again. So,
well, you know what? That's very interesting. That's very interesting because the earth would symbolize humanity. And with everything that's going now, we're starting all these new technologies where we've got virtual reality and we've got animation and automation and space and different things, which are very mental energy. And we're going into the Aquarian age, which is mental.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's mental, and it's new ideas, new discoveries. It's new insights. It's beyond space and time, really, And I think it's very confusing with virtual reality. I don't know if you've experienced it, but when you put those little glasses on and you're all of a sudden projected into this environment, if you didn't have those glasses on, you wouldn't know any different that you weren't where you were projected into. The challenge is to not get lost in the new technology and have the rules and regulations that are going to discipline where we're headed, because we could easily get lost.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
I understand it completely from the most human perspective, which is necessary. So yeah, that's exactly. I watch it in my young kids, and
that may be what happened in the past. I don't know.
I know. No, I 100% know. I mean, I wrote a book on it where I was shown, the parallel timelines. I was shown the wars that had to break us to get us to rebuild so that we were, like literally think about a war and the destruction. And then you have to rebuild your homes, your cities, your everything. This is literally grounding root chakra 101, right? So it's like, and that's where I keep saying, it's like, well, each wave is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger until we realize what we're being taught here, which is we can reach as high as we want to reach, but we've got to stay grounded. And that's psychic training 101. So that's where I see all these psychics, empaths, teachers, non-physical energy readers, all these people who are being called back into action because this is what they've been living. They've had to go through it in their own self. What happens when I disassociate and I detach and I'm just living in my meditation and I'm living in all of this and the highest God consciousness. It's all perfect when you live there.
Right.
And they've been disassociating, disconnect. And so we've had to learn how to embody. And that's where I see this coming full circle, where it's like, if you're one of those teachers, healers, people who have been going through this self-actualizing process for years now, like this is what you're here for, is to help teach people how to stay embodied here, connected here as we reach for the stars with VR and, and being sensitive and empathic and hyper connected like we all are. It's just, we can't get lost in the mental field. And that's where we're learning how to do it when we couldn't in a past incarnation on Earth, when we went right into the mental field and disconnected from the Earth.
2 options for you now. Path 1 would be going and reading planet 3, the 3rd star from the sun, which will go into the parallel timeline of Earth that I was shown in 2015. Or if you want, you can click on the video, which will take you to watch this whole fly on the wall conversation with Diane and Jenessee. And we'll start from the beginning. This was a snippet from close to the end, where we're discussing all of the transitions and waves that are happening from 2020 to 2025, and then from 25 to 2030. With light and love.